Close to a month after President William Ruto announced the lifting of the moratorium on logging, and the power saw is already at work, felling trees and clearing plantations that have reached the rotation age. Now, a spot check by Citizen Television in a number of forests in the North Rift reveal an exercise that commenced in earnest following the president's directive, with sawmillers rushing to beat the 45-day harvesting period given by the Kenya Forest Services.
From small to large players in the sector, the lifting of the moratorium was an answered prayer, as they had to depend on imports and reserves in private farms for the last 5 years. But amidst the bumper harvest for the sawmillers, concerns have been raised by the environmentalists, who argue that it was wrong to allow logging before fully implementing recommendations by the Task Force on Forest Resources Management and Logging Activities in the country. Well, this story was produced by Gatete Njoroge.
The sound of a power saw welcomes us to this 22-hectare parcel of land in Chemususu Forest in Baringo County. For every 5 minutes you hear, a giant tree planted over 30 years ago falls. It is a rush against time for Comply Industries workers who have to cut down 4,000 trees worth 18.7 million shillings within the next 45 days. With heavy machinery deployed, a crew of 8 are able to cut, collect and put the trees on a truck within 30 minutes. Before the trees leave the harvesting area, a Kenya Forest Service ranger has to inspect the load and, by use of a special hammer, ensure that all trees get a special mark with a specific number allocated to each forest station. This is the mark that inspectors along the road are able to identify as trees harvested legally and those illegally cut. It is a daily routine that is supervised by 2 rangers whose roles are to ensure that sawmillers stick to the felling plan provided by the Kenya Forest Service.
They are not going to harvest where the plantations are young or are not under the felling plan. We normally have felling plan. These plantations were given under the felling plan. So the plantations that are not under the felling plan for that particular year, they are not harvested. We harvest in plantation forest, which are established with an objective of harvesting.
Nyaoke says those harvesting are the ones who had paid and allocated areas to cut down trees, but were forced to stop after the moratorium came into effect back in 2018. The process of issuing licenses to those pre-qualified to harvest trees in the authorized 5,000 hectares this year is still ongoing at the county level. Trees harvested for commercial purposes include eucalyptus, cypress and pine.
In Baringo Country, we have 8 stations where harvesting is going on. We have an area of about 65 hectares that is supposed to be harvested. As we are talking now, the only area that is already under harvesting is around 30 hectares. Yeah, because the letters are coming out in bits.
The county forest conservator says it has not been all smooth since the lifting of the moratorium, as the ban had far-reaching effects on some of the plantations which were due for harvesting between 2018 and 2022.
There is an area of about 25 hectares. That was given out in Maji Mazuri. When we gave out the allocation letters, the new allocation letters to the sawmillers, they were about 8. They have declined because when they started cutting, all the trees are rotten. They are cypress trees, they are rotten. Now they have returned the letters. They are saying they should be compensated.
It is a shared concern among sawmillers in this area who are happy to be back in business after a 5-year struggle in search of the commodity.
Sisi tumefurahia sababu tumeweza kurudi kutoa pesa yetu ililala huko ndani kwa miaka 5. Hata ingali zile miti tulikuwa tumeangusha chini ilioza, na sasa hii tunafuatilia kusema kama compensation inaweza fanyika, sababu zilioza, zingine zikaibiwa, zingine ikakatwa kama kuni.
Ilifungwa haraka, miti zingine tulikuwa tumelipa na zikafungiwa ndani. Pesa ndio hiyo yote, hakuna kitu, na loans nilikuwa naye na watoto ndio hiyo wako shule. Sasa ilibidi hata nikauza vitu zingine na hata watoto wengine wakadivaa.
For Joseph Cheruyot, a sawmiller in Baringo County with a staff of 200, the lifting of the ban has led to reduction of the price of timber by at least 15,000 shillings per ton.
Kama mtu angeleta order tulikuwa nauzia yeye 55, lakini ile mtu alikuwa anakuja tu anapata bao ile kwa tayari ilikuwa 50. Alafu saa hii imeteremuka iko 40 kwa sababu tumepata miti na miti ni mingi.
Tunaomba serikali kabisa kuwe na management plan katika msitu, kuwa na felling plan na isikatwe kiholela, sababu msitu yetu ya Narasha ina backlog kubwa sana sababu ilikatwa bila mpangilio.
For large-scale players like Rai Timber Company in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, the effects of the ban are still visible at 2 of the company, and one cannot fail to note the machines which for the last 5 years have remained switched off due to lack of enough raw materials. Over 3,000 employees were laid off after the government announced the moratorium.
Tunatarajia kuanza huu muhula mwezi wa 8, lazima mashini zitakuwa zimeanza kukimbia, sababu sasa tunaleta miti kidogo kidogo sababu ya mvua, lakini tukipata mahali pazuri au watu 3,000 wote watarudi kazi.
We have to resume productions, and also this kind of industry we need to achieve at least a minimum like at least 50% or above capacity. Such a big industry, you cannot run with a very low productivity.
For Rivertex Textile Company, the 24-hour operation was reduced to at least 3 days a week when the ban came to effect. Their steam boilers, which are the main engine in the textile industry, had to depend on wood from private farms. But for now, it is business as usual as they receive more wood for the boilers. In neighboring Elgeyo Marakwet County, preparations of tree seedlings at the Elgeyo Forest Station are on course. Out of a total of 250,000 seedlings at the station, 150,000 seedlings are ready for planting in areas where harvesting is currently ongoing. Another 20,000 seedlings in the hands of Community Forest Association is already ready for the next planting season. In this area, inside the Elgeyo Forest, where harvesting took place in 2017 before the ban, trees are growing next to the stumps. Next to it is another parcel of land where maize is growing side by side with trees, and another one where farmers are growing potatoes next to trees. Farmers here are given a half-acre piece of land to grow crops and plant trees for a period of 3 years before leaving the farms for trees to grow.
Nalima viazi na viazi 4 naweza toa mazao karibu kunia 80. Kunia 80 kupika hesabu kwa kunia moja inaweza kuwa karibu tuseme karibu 1,200 na kitu.
Hii miti ambayo inakatwa wakati huu ni ile ilipandwa na program ya Pelis. Na miti ni kubwa, ilichungwa mzuri, na ndio hii wakati hii tunafaidika kwa hii miti ambayo inakatwa ambayo ilipandwa na program ya kupanda chakula na kupanda miti. Jamii zetu wamehamasishwa ya kutosha. Na hatuna shida na Kenya Forest Service, hatuna shida na uhifadhi wa misitu.
Here, farmers tend to their crops as sawmillers cut down the plantations where they are expected to move in a few months' time. A visit to one of the areas where harvesting is being done, and we find these men busy loading trees on a truck using their own hands without the help of heavy machinery. Next to them is another group using heavy machinery to carry out the same work.
Tunaanza kazi saa 3 asubuhi, tunafunga 5 by 5 tutakuwa tumefunga na tunapata kitu kama 3,000-4,000. So hiyo inatusaidia kabisa.
I count all the trees. I know you'll wonder how I do it, but it can take me even a week. So I count 1, 2, 3 and submit the data to Nairobi. If it's 20,000 trees, I submit to Nairobi. Then I sample for heights.
Encroachments, those are issues that we still have to deal with them because of the dynamics that are involved, and given that these are not people who just moved the other day. These are long cases from 1980s, 1990s, even to early 2000s.
Another effect of the ban was an influx of timber from the neighboring countries. A visit to the Malaba border, and here more trucks arrive with timber from Uganda, Democratic Republic of Congo and South Sudan.
In a day, we are able to clear forest products from DRC Congo, that's carrying mahogany, around 10 to 20 trucks per day. And in a month is 100 trucks of mahogany. In the vine, in a month we can clear 112 trucks of timber, that's from Uganda. Each truck is carrying that 5 metric tons.
But amidst the harvesting and the revival of the timber industry, the major concern among environmentalists is on whether the lifting of the moratorium will deal a blow to the gains made in protecting the environment and forests at large. Another key concern is whether the Ministry of Environment has implemented the short, medium and long-term recommendations made by the task force that recommended the ban, and which included a proposal to vet serving KFS personnel, audit Kenya Forest Service books and systems, develop the capacity of Kenya Forest Services, a review of all internal administrative and technical operating structures, among other recommendations.
Tuwezi kubali miti ianze kukatwa kiholela, na ndio ikose kukatwa kiholela, lazima tuhepe hao finance hao pesa, ndio wawe na watu ya kuangalia hiyo kazi ya miti na njia mzuri, na wawe wakisunguka kila mahali.
Environment and Forestry Cabinet Secretary Soipan Tuya, while defending the government's decision to lift the moratorium, said they will be more strict and swift in dealing with those flouting the protocols put in place, including KFS officials. Tuya has also said that the harvesting is in compliance with the guidance from the Auditor General, as well as established sustainable harvesting and replanting capacity of the Kenya Forest Service.